Hi there, and welcome to this bonus episode of the Gazette's Hockey Inside Out Show. I'm Stu Cowan of the Gazette, joined by my regular partners here, former Canadiens teammates, 1986 Stanley Cup champs, Chris Nilan and Rick Green. Well, the Canadiens in nets now have Sam Montembeault, Jakub Dobes, and Jacob Fowler as goalies moving forward, along with Cayden Primeau, who can become a restricted free agent this summer. Rick, goaltending looked pretty set for the foreseeable future with this team?
I mean, that was a question mark, I think, going into this year. Everybody was going, okay, is Montembeault going to be able to do the job? And, you know, given the opportunity that he was given, he responded, in a really positive way to the point where he's your number one go-to guy. And, the future looks really good. And Dobes, can fill that void when needed. He's shown that he can also do the job. And, Fowler, remains to be seen, but at least they have some players that they know from their previous performance, other than Fowler, that they're able to help them out in that department. And that is an area that you definitely have to have some good performance and proven guys. And so far, I think they're in a very good position to have good depth at that position. And, you need that to have any type of success in any given year.
Knuckles, Montembeault getting hurt during the series against Washington, and Dobes coming in. I thought Dobes played really well. I don't think that had an impact on the series. Do you?
No, I didn't. But, he made a mistake on that one goal and maybe should have covered it up right away. Just put your glove on it, take the face off, and that goes in the net. That was a mistake. That other goal over the shoulder, that was a pretty good snipe. Some guys would have had it, some guys wouldn't have had it. So, but I really like the way that kid handled the pressure as he got in there. That is a terribly difficult situation. I don't care who you are to come in. If you're a seasoned backup goalie, it's not easy. So, anyway, I was impressed with that. And for the foreseeable future, yeah. And I've talked to the guy who scouted and found Fowler and was. Kid from Boston named Ryan. Yeah. He's a scout with the Habs. He's friggin', he is convinced on this kid. And, that makes me feel good moving forward. We saw Primeau. He came in with kind of high expectations. He struggled. Not easy. He plays great down in the American Hockey League. But, again, we'll see moving forward. But I really think they're in good shape that way. It's some other things that they have to address now.
Well, you mentioned that scout. I remember the behind-the-scenes video the Canadiens did from their draft meetings and him speaking up for Fowler, saying the kid's had the best saves percentage in every league he's been in. He's won in every league he's been in. And that's going to be interesting for Habs fans now to watch moving forward with him in Laval and what they do with Primeau. Rick, Primeau can become a restricted free agent this summer. Do you think he has a future here?
Not really. I think it's time for him to change locations, get a fresh start somewhere, and, wish him well because he can't get it done here. Unfortunately, that's part of the game. And, he's a good kid, but I don't think there's obviously room for him to do his thing here in Montreal. So get a fresh start somewhere else.
Yeah, I think the pressure, and Primeau admitted it when he got called up from Laval after Montembeault got hurt, saying mentally he struggled this year and he let things bother him that shouldn't bother him. And I think the very bright spotlight here in Montreal might be hard for him to handle. I can see him going somewhere else and playing well in the NHL, probably as a backup. But with Fowler coming in here, Knuckles, you and Rick were both there when Patrick came in and 86, and you guys went on to win the Cup. And what kind of a boost did he give you as a rookie goalie? And when he came in, did you think he could do what he did?
Well, when you look at him when he came in, he's just kind of like a young, little goofy, young kid. And all of a sudden he comes in and we start to see how he is in the net, see his demeanor. He worked his butt off. And then all of a sudden he got playing that year in the playoffs. And we're like, and mind you, and I don't take anything away from him. But we have one hell of a defensive hockey team. That kid made the first save. there wasn't many times he had to make that second one on a rebound. He either controlled the rebound, and if there was one, it was gone. We had such good defense. So, yeah, it was Patrick. He's special. Come on. What he did in his career, it's incredible. But you couldn't – I'm sorry. Anybody who foresaw that, you're a freaking genius.
So you're praising Rick here, Knuckles.
Well, it's true. Greeny, he was good at pushing pucks to the corner. It's like, on my stick.
I really appreciate you finally recognizing the importance of the defense back there. Because,
always did.
Because we did have an awful big group of big bodies that did a lot of shot blocking, and Patrick would take care of the rest. But, again, you start from the back out, and you get good guys in those two areas. You're going about it the right way.
As a veteran defenseman at the time, though, Rick, what were you thinking when you got, oh, God, we got this kid in net for us now?
Didn't know. It didn't really change our the way we played, because back then, the rules allowed us to move guys to the outside. So we continued to allow the goalie to see the first shot, and we'll take care of the rebound. And, that's a part of the game that I wish they would allow more of it in the defensive zone, where you can physically move guys, because the goalie doesn't have a chance in hell to see a lot of the pucks, because you can't touch anybody in front. But anyways, that's a new game. We did things differently because we could, but had a lot of respect for those timely big saves that allowed us that run in '86, where Patrick made those saves that bailed us out and allowed us to get the job done, in that year.
Knuckles, did Montembeault show you enough this season that he's a legitimate number one goalie in the NHL?
Yeah, he could be a number one guy again. Mm-hmm. I think he really started to come around. He did and played well. There were some games there that he struggled, but I think that's a result of how they play in their own end. Like, he was left out to dry too a lot. So, yeah, definitely number one. But,
I think he's a good number one. Not necessarily a great number one. And Fowler seems to have the potential.
He's not going to be this one or that one. Yeah. But, yeah, he can handle the load. He can. And, again, the better the play in front of him defensively, the better he's going to be. It goes hand in hand. When you leave a guy out to dry all the time, not all the time, but, glaring mistakes that there are like glaring scoring chances on, that's difficult on a goalie, Yeah, come up with a big save, but not all night.
Yeah, when Fowler seems to have the potential to be the number one, but so did Primeau coming out of university, right? They both won the Mike Richter Award as the top goalie in NCAA hockey, but I think the pressure for Fowler seems to be a cocky, confident kid. A little bit like Patrick, probably, Rick. I think that probably helped Patrick a lot, right?
Time will tell. You throw them in the situation, and it's up to them to get the job done. And, without judging too quickly, because some are late developers. But when you have those type of, credentials like Fowler supposedly has, at the NHL level will be another challenge for him to meet. And if he responds like he did in his other areas that he played in, other leagues, he'll have some success. So a good situation all around for the group that they do have within the organization.
Yeah, the half season's over, but it'll be interesting to watch the Laval Rocket now in the AHL playoffs and how the goaltending plays out. All right, that's it for this Hockey Inside Out Show bonus episode. I hope you all enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe to the Hockey Inside Out YouTube channel. Go to MontrealGazette.com/newsletters to sign up for the Hockey Inside Out newsletter. And of course, go to HockeyInsideOut.com every day, where you get all the latest Canadiens news during the rest of the playoffs and during the off season.